Welcome to the Balance Warrior podcast. I am Coach Paul Malella. I'm so humbled and grateful to have you all either watching or listening to the show today. This is a solo podcast. I don't have our other Balance Warrior coaches, Mike and Chris, here today. So this is going to be a quick little powwow just with me. Today, what I wanted to focus in on, I've been having a lot of clients, including myself at times, struggle with just breaking patterns of behavior. And, I want to talk about that. This kills more sales, more opportunities, more deals, and unfortunately could potentially ruin a lot of relationships and destroys more productivity than almost anything else I know in business. I'm constantly on the phone coaching clients on and off the cliff. And one of the things that I have to do as a coach is get people to break patterns of behavior, mind shift a lot faster than ever before, because that costs money. It costs time, costs production, and most of all, energy, and takes us out of what I call flow state. In that one moment, just that one moment, that one situation completely can throw you and I off our center. Grandmaster Kim, our mentor, our Susu Nim, says the most important thing in life and in business is to maintain your center. Difficult to kind of go to a little bit to what I call the dark side, and having really high levels of enthusiasm and happiness. But the client who questions your value at times, even when you've crushed results. Just recently, I've had a client had a situation where he've onboarded somebody and, something happened and probably in that client's life, and they wanted to close the case, cancel out policies, go somewhere else. And this particular client was like up 10% and was just complaining. And sometimes it takes us out of our vibrational frequency. And we have this is just a part of life. It's a part of business, right? In that one moment, that one situation, it could completely throw off all of us off our center. So it could be a disgruntled client. It could be a team member who kind of drops the ball, and you have to deal with putting out fires on a daily basis. So one of the things is, why does this one bad interaction have the power to literally derail us, right? Take us off on our center. And it's not just for that moment, but for hours. Sometimes it's a day, it's a week, it's a weekend, and not just an entire day, right? So more importantly, how do you stop it? How do you break those patterns of behavior? Most of all, who I do personal coaching with, you hear me say, catch it, scratch it, erase, replace. I'm going to say that again. Catch it, scratch it, erase, replace. So let me kind of paint this picture. Imagine it's a Monday or Tuesday morning. You're getting into to start your day, start your week. You're in the zone. A lot of my clients that have what I call green zone surgery days. They're just doing meetings back to back to back on Tuesdays. Monday, we kind of map out an ideal week where they're kind of meeting with their teams. It's called like a buffer day if you're following Dan Sullivan's strategic coach model. I like to call it my blue zone, my live with activity, kind of prepare us for the week to rock and roll, get in flow state. But let's just say Tuesday is your ideal surgery day, right? You're meeting clients, you're in the green zone, you're in flow state, you're doing things what I call energizing activity. And all of a sudden, you got all these back-to-back meetings lined up. And maybe in the morning, you've even primed yourself. Like me, I go for walks, I meditate, I journal, I pray, I have tea, I stretch, I lift, I do all the things to prep myself. And maybe you've done that. Maybe your morning routine is solid, and you start your surgery day ready to crush it, right? Ready to win the day, win the week. And all of a sudden you get an email comes in. Now, most of my clients, they protect themselves, right? And they schedule certain zones where they start their emails, they go into flow state, and they check the emails later. But that's not easy to do. A lot of my financial advisor clients have like zero to little self-control when it's, times to check email, right? But let's just say you fall into that trap. An email comes in and a client is demanding back some fees, maybe if you charge fees, or um, no matter how well you service them, how well you did great the past part of their relationship, but they're upset. And we don't know really why they're upset, but they're upset. And they're kind of talking down on you, and they're being a little disrespectful. You get off that call and you're just not the same. You're just not the same. We are still human. We're not AI yet, right? We're still human. We have feelings, right? And I've been there. I know what it's like. I want to please people. I want everyone to be happy. I know I'm not the coach for everybody, but still, it still feels not great. And all of a sudden you have another meeting lined up and it's weighing on you. And maybe your voice lacks a little certainty. You're at a vibrational frequency, and you start second guessing. You start second guessing things about you, your confidence, your certainty, your servicing. And maybe it has nothing to do with that client, but you still feel that way. I'm sure some of you can relate when you kind of frame this out in your own mind. And if you're not careful, right, you kind of bring that, I call it fad, right? Fear, anxiety, doubt, or any negative frequency, frustration into that next call, into that next meeting, maybe into the next team huddle. And eventually, if you were like me, or you are like me at one point, I brought it home. I work from home now, but once I leave this office or I take my Coach Paul hat off, it's still lingering. Whatever happened in that day. And your family feels it. I know mine has. And if you're not careful, you bring that frustration, you bring that anxiety, you bring that anger, not only into your next call, not just into your team, into your culture, but you bring it back to the people that you love the most, and that's your family. Sound familiar? I've been guilty of this, 100% been guilty of it. So we have to, what I call is you got to do something called a frequency hijacking. Okay. Frequency hijacking means we got to hijack the negative frequency and change the channel. Ironically, as I speak, I actually literally have solfeggio frequency music playing in the background. It kind of zens me out. But if someone doesn't like that channel, we have the right and the ability to actually change the channel, right? Change that frequency. A lot of people don't get that in life. It is an energy. It is an energy. So you got to hijack that negative frequency. You have to shift that negative frequency and change it. If you don't, what's the cost? This I always ask them, what will happen? What will it cost you if you don't do this? If you don't shift, if you don't change, you don't improve, you don't become more aware. Your performance drops. Literally, as I'm recording this, one of my top producers was like, and I haven't closed anything since. Right? Literally haven't closed business since. It's like a baseball player. I'm a Yankee, guy. And I remember that one year that Aaron Judge was shooting for that home run thing. And he was in a rut. What's it cost? It's a performance drop, right? You lose deals, you miss opportunities, right? Your influence, your inspiration, your motivation, your persuasion, it drops. The charge drops. What does that cost you financially? I know my financial clients, when they work on these, with their prospects and clients, that's thousands, if not hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars of lost opportunity cost. What's the second thing that happens? Well, if you have a team and you have a culture in your office, it ruins the culture. It's like you're contaminating your culture. It's fucking contagious. Negative energy is contagious. So your energy spreads. I hate to even say this word. It spreads like cancer. It literally spreads the energy like wildfire onto your team. And most people love negative energy, right? And then the third cost is it spills over to your home. And now then your family, right? Your husband, your wife, your kids, whoever, they get all the scraps of what you left over. So that's the cost. I really want you all to think about that and sink that in. If you are a high performer, I don't care who you are, how long you've been in the business, you are not immune to these things. You're not bulletproof yet, right? Even my top clients have been at this for over 10 years with me, private coaching. We're working on this every day, il shin, being better every day. It's like working out. I work out all for years. Since 18 years old, I can spend a couple days not training, not working out, and this atrophy in my mind, I kind of gain body fat and I'm soft. Same thing as how we all operate on mindset, right? You're not immune, and I will also say is that some people don't recover fast enough. They're not that masterful yet, right? You have to protect this frequency. You do. So how do we do that? Let's talk about my framework, right? So we got to break these patterns. And when we mind shift to break these frequencies, we have to have what we call a pattern interrupt, and I learned this from Tony Robbins years ago. He would always say your physiology, right? Your body language. So we have to move. So I don't care if you stand up, you move your body, even if you have to shake it out. I say, come on, let's shake it out. Get all the bad juju off you. I can do this. I do this on coaching calls with clients. My partner, Coach Chris goes out for hikes. He mountain bikes. I definitely go to the gym and get a lift in. I go for a nature walk outside. I look up to the stars. I'll bang out some push-ups. I don't care what it is. I don't care if you do deep breathing and you hold for 4 seconds, blow it out for another 4 seconds, and you kind of like inhale all positive energy and you exhale all negative energy. I don't give a shit what you do. Step one, your first pattern interrupt is change the physiology of your body. Whatever that is for you that works. Years ago, I'd have heavy bags. I would beat the crap out of the heavy bag, punch the heavy bag out of anger just to get it out. Whatever worked for you. Step two, you got to reframe an emotional or mental trigger. Reframe it. You got to shift your perspective. So we ask yourself by the power of questions. So I want you to ask yourself, if this happened to another competitor, another person down the street, how would I want them to react, right? How would you want them? If this was the best thing to happen today, why would that be? What's good about this situation? What could I learn from this situation? You have to learn how to reframe the trigger or shift your perspective. And that comes from the power of questions. I love my partner, Chris. He'd always reframe and go, what's the positive? What's the positive? And I would always answer, well, I'm positive that you're pissing me the hell off. Just let me be angry for a minute and then I'll shift. I actually absorb the anger and the frustration and then spin it back around and use it to my advantage. The third step that I want you to do is you got to redirect your focus and then your energy. So how do you do that? Now, literally today, I asked one of my guys, I'm like, dude, just, can you name 3 wins over the past 12 to 24 to 48 hours, and stack those wins, say them out loud, see them, feel them. One of the things I also do is I do an evidence stack. So for example, you have this one disgruntled client, right? That's kind of pissed off, or this one fire putting out and whatever it is, right? That's one negative thing that's happening in your world, right? Or let's call it one client. Well, this dude's got like hundreds of clients and years of coaching. What if you imagine you go in a mental courtroom and this one person is trying to like discredit you, tell you you're not good enough. I want my service fees back. I want this. I'm going to cancel out all my stuff. This one person just complaining. He or she just wants to go, I'm going to go on social media and I'm going to do this, and this, and talk bad about you. Well, you got like 300 people that would wait online to walk on the witness stand to say how awesome you are. Can you name 5 top clients right now that you serviced, that love you, that would go on the witness stand and just talk what you did for them, how you operated and how you helped them? Can you do that? Can you do that evidence stack? That's how you redirect your focus and energy. The fourth thing I want you to do is you got to anchor a new state, a new identity. So in our book, we call them empowering paradigms, right? Or I am statements. And these are just, emotional, empowering statements to kind of impact your subconscious mind. And not to bore you with empowering statements, we say, I am unshakable, focused, and I'm in control of my energy. My clients love, trust, respect me. They're constantly introducing me to like-minded humans that want and need my guidance and help. I'm a referral magnet. I'm constantly getting introductions to like-minded humans that want and need my guidance and service. Everything happens for a reason, and it serves me, my family, our business, our generational wealth. Millennials always find ways to win. I am better and better every single day. Whatever it is, like you anchor a new identity, a new empowering statement to kind of boost up that self-confidence and that image. How long does this take? I've been talking like 15 minutes or something like that. This process can take like 2 to 5 minutes, but I'll tell you what it could do. It could save your day. It can literally save your day. It could reshift your day. You get back on that next meeting. You kick ass. You impact people. You guide them. You inspire them. You close some business. You create some value. Go home. Be an amazing parent. Be an amazing spouse, right? Don't allow those trolls, those energy leeches, or those energy vampires literally steal your happiness away, because that's what it is. I'm re-listening to this audio book, Outwitting the Devil. I've listened to about 2 or 3 times. I hired a new coach recently, another coach this year. I'm still pouring into myself as a student. And it's so funny. He was like, I really recommend that you listen to, Napoleon Hill's Outwitting the Devil. I'm like, yeah, I listened to it. And I'm like, look at me. I'm already blocking off taking advice, right? I'm like, I'm going to re-listen to that again. Man, it's powerful. Super powerful. If you haven't listened to it or read it, do it. Napoleon Hill's book, he wrote Think and Grow Rich, but it's Outwitting the Devil. It is fire, completely fire. And honestly, like evil, the devil, Satan, whatever you want to call it, whatever metaphor, literally controls 98% of humans on earth, all by dropping seeds of anger, seeds of fear, seeds of jealousy, seeds of resentment, any negative thought or shifting of frequency. That's basically what he wants to do. He literally wants to steal your happiness away. He wants to take you out of vibrational frequency. He wants to take you off and out of your, what I call your worthy ideal, your mission, your calling, your chief aim in life. That's it. Don't allow these people, these little demons, steal away your greatness. So what I challenge you to do is just take a couple minutes to do that, this another client that I had, they did this. It was a really top producer. He had a horrible blowout with a client minutes before a super big case that is about to close, and normally in the past, this person would have been ruined. Forget about like the meeting, the day. He would have been shot for like a whole month, cost him millions of dollars. But here's the deal. He took these silly little mind shift strategies. He ran a quick mind shift protocol right there in his office, even without me there. Usually I tell everyone, hey, if you need me, hit me up. I'm there for you. I'll find time. And I literally last week, I did 3 emergency calls. I'm not kidding. 3 emergency calls to my clients. And I do this all the time, right? They should be paying me more money though for what I help them with, but that's another podcast. But this particular person did the mind shift protocol, caught it, catch it, scratch it, erase, replace, did the techniques that I did, went back into the next meeting, and he closed like a $50,000 premium. Like, it was awesome. Honestly, he literally hit me up, was like, yo, that was amazing. I would have not been able to do that without these silly techniques. That's the power of this. So what I'd like you to think about today is just a little bit of, hopefully I provided a value bomb here today, just a 90-second reset. That's it. Number 1, Shift your physiology. I don't care if you stand up, you breathe, you shake it off, go for a walk, do a bunch of push-ups right there in your office. If you have time to get a workout in, run, a bike, I don't care, but you can do it right in your office. Literally, stand up, move, shake your body out, breathe, push-ups, whatever it is. Pull-up bars. Some guys got pull-up bars in their office, whatever. Change your physiology. Number two, shift your perspective, right? What's the opportunity here? How can I grow? You know, I'm always thinking like, all right, this sucks. This is an adversity. I know the laws of the universe state that everything in the universe has an opposite. So this sucks. There's got to be something awesome. Where is it? So now I'm like, all right, well, opportunity, where are you? Something great's going to come out of here. Now I'm actually expecting and looking for it. You have to learn to look for it too. It's just hard to do it when you're in the dark side, right? And you're drifted off. You can't see opportunity, but you have to learn and practice to do it. Third thing is you got to have an empowering paradigm. Say an empowering statement. I don't care what it is for you. If you need some help creating them, hit me up, message me. I'll get on the phone. I'll send you an email. Tell me what the issue is. I'll send you some empowering statements, right? And the last thing is you get to prime yourself for the next day. So you have to visualize yourself crushing the next meeting, or even if it's close your eyes for a couple of minutes and visualizing what you want to see happen in the rest of the day or the next morning or whatever it is. So next time something throws you off, do not give the problem more power than it should, or don't give that human more power. Do not allow them to steal your energy away. Don't allow them to take you out of vibrational frequency. They're not worth it. And if you want little mind frequency shifter one-page protocol that kind of walks everything that I just did, let me know. Give me a DM, give me an email, give me a message on social media, and just in the comments, whether you DM me on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, you want to email me, fine. Just say, Coach P, send me the reset. Just say reset. Frequency shift page, frequency shifter page, and I'll get something to you. Because my mission, right, or my worthy ideal, right, is to lead, teach, and inspire future leaders, business professionals, entrepreneurs to be better every day, personally, professionally, so you all can experience what I call multidimensional success and just live a healthy, happy, fulfilling life with a sense of passion and purpose. Because here at Balanced Warrior, it's not just about fighting battles, we have to win the mind first. It's not just about fighting the daily and weekly battles. This is the battle you have to win first. I hope today gave some value bombs, and live life to the fullest and be better every day. Be blessed.